Two guys, two worlds. This is the flip side. New episodes uploaded on YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify every week on Wednesday and Saturday. Now, here's your host, Jason and Noel.
Oh, sir, Oral.
That's what I said. All right, ladies
I
and
guess
gentlemen, welcome back. Um, it's the Jason and Noel podcast. Uh,
Woo,
I
whoop
guess
de doo,
supposedly the third one that they're trying to put in the
whoop de
till.
doo.
So
I've been thinking about the couple of episodes that we did.
yeah,
Episodes make it sound so serious. A couple of the recordings that we did, like I mentioned a while ago, trying to sort of follow your lead. So, are we? Are we? What kind of? I'm still trying to figure out what kind of show we're trying to put on together. Because a while ago, I just felt like I was in a therapy session, just sharing sharing our lives. But is that
I really
it?
don't know. I mean, what are we trying to do? In a way, it felt like we were, yeah, and just sharing about ourselves, really. But I don't know. I have no direction yet at this point.
I
I'm literally winging it.
at the end of it, no, because at the end of it, I just felt self-conscious about it because most of the stuff that I listen to, they actually have, like at the end, have something to promote. Like watch my movie or watch or pick up my book
Right. I
or
mean, that's
download this
well,
app.
that's where we talked about trying to be a little bit more natural, not having specific things to talk about and just see where it goes.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
that's also where I'm trying to get at, where it might be better if we have like maybe some bullet points that we bring. Whoa, that's
yeah. I'll
weird.
go with your bullet points, man, because I got none.
I I literally don't have anything anymore. I scratched it all
The
out
the
because we
the
were
only
talking about
thing,
it earlier.
yeah, like I'm for me, I'm happy with whatever we did, but the only thing that I just wanted to squeeze out of those couple of episodes was how interesting it is how like we could have the same experience and have two totally different perspectives on what actually happened, not
Right.
just Jason's experience and then Noel's experience. There's also Noel's experience today, and then there's Noel's experience 10, 20 years ago, which is like can be two different memories. So it just amazes me how, like I said, the brain screws you over like that sometimes.
There's
So
a lot of things where what do you call them? I wouldn't say repressed memories, but tucked in back
yeah,
there. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So, and then when something is discussed or said, it triggers it to pop back out. Not all the
yeah,
time, but in
yeah.
most cases, you know. And
So
yeah,
I guess what I'm saying is I'm walking into this with kind of that in mind. Like it's like a not a psychedelic experience, but when I say I don't have any bullet points with me yet, I just want to see how where it sort of takes me.
right.
The and it just so happens that we're recording, so it'd be interesting. It might be interesting to watch somewhere
Yeah.
down the line.
I
So
don't know
that's
if you've
just
seen the other
that's just where
episodes,
I'm at.
but yeah, well,
No,
yeah,
I
I know,
haven't.
and I agree.
I had to go to the market, literally.
No, even from the first one from the other day, like a couple days ago.
I
Honestly, it's not that bad. I
Good to
don't
know.
for two people who have no idea what the hell they're doing and are
Mm,
stepping into this. I
mm,
think it's pretty interesting so far.
mm.
I could be wrong, just because I am part of it. You know, it's hard to be
Yeah.
biased about it.
So I'm looking at my blurry background, and you're up in space. Where you want to go now, Captain?
Well, actually, how about I'm still stuck on the title, to be honest with you. I'm still trying to go back to that. I mean, the two broke dads would have been pretty good, honestly. I mean, but it's hard when it's already taken and it's gonna suck. I don't want to like get a ceased and deceased letter or something.
Yeah, but why don't we explain? to our audience or our future selves, hey, why Two Broke Dads resonated with you? Why did you like that idea?
I don't know. It just there's a lot. I went through a lot in life where I was broke. You know,
Mm,
at one point
mm,
in my life, I had 50 cents to my name.
mm.
At one
I don't.
point in my life, I was actually homeless for about
I
a
don't even
week.
have a bank account to my name right now.
How can you not have a bank account? You're kidding me, right?
No, 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 I'm not. It got closed for some reason I was below minimum and I called up the bank. It's like, what's going on? I can't access my like 300 pesos. That's like $3 or something like that. And they said it got eaten up. It closed because it was below minimum for like a month or something.
But Jesus
So
Christ. So where do
I've
you
been
put your money?
I was living on cash, paycheck to paycheck.
So, like right now, your cash, all your cash is in your wallet.
Yeah. Well, my dad's wallet or my girlfriend's wallet, but yeah, quite literally. I'm not even joking. I've been planning to open up another. Yeah, it's closed.
How long ago was this?
About 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago.
Oh, for fuck's sake, dude. So
Yeah.
you gotta open a bank. You need to put
Yeah.
your
Well,
money in a bank.
obviously, yeah. I was no part of it was no. Even if I started no, because I was going to start like an online gig English tutorial also, and they required me to open a bank and then etc. etc. That's got nothing to do with why my current bank account just got closed, but
Right,
it's a different bank. So I was thinking of switching banks anyway
right.
to that other bank that the company required us to have an account from, which has nothing to do with the account that I got closed. So that I digress. Point being is, yeah, I'm at that point right now where there's literally nothing, and to add insult to injury, the bank closed the account. So
Oh my God. Did you at least get some of the money back, or they just closed it because there was just no more money?
300 pesos.
Yeah,
They closed it because it was below minimum. I didn't realize that there was like a 2,000 peso
limit.
limit. Yeah.
I've been
Um,
there, done
yeah.
that. I mean, when like I said, at one point in my life, I was homeless for like a week. I was sleeping in a train. This is back in San Francisco.
Uh, uh.
One of my dark days before I made a shitload of bad
What
money.
happened to friends and family?
That's a whole different story, man.
$36. 20 the 2,000 pesos is like $36.
That's rough. That's dude. Seriously, are you working right now? Do you have a job
Ye-
right now?
I got a client.
Okay.
I'm working on a video with. Yeah. So
So you're doing like videos for these clients of yours.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I'm getting paid it, but yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fine.
Yeah. Yeah, hey man. And it's hard for me to have that kind of mindset nowadays.
It's not 50 cents or living in train tracks, but it's on the road to
Yeah. Yeah.
it's on the road to San Francisco.
There you go. There you go. There's such a big problem of homelessness in California right now. It's not
Yeah,
even
I hear about that.
yeah. I actually I was watching this documentary on YouTube. I'm jumping all over the place here, but I can't remember the name of the documentary, but it's about homelessness in California. There's this one guy who's
Yeah.
actually a registered nurse. He
Oh yeah.
makes he makes $96,000 a year currently. Okay, his credit
While
is
while
not good
homeless.
because he can't afford it. Meaning
Okay.
his rent is like $4,000. He can't get a decent apartment because of his credit. So he's living in his car. So right now he's in the process of like converting his little Hyundai Santa Fe and put like a little
Mm.
sleeper thing in the back or whatnot.
Mm.
but he makes over $90,000, and he's
Right.
considered homeless in
So
San
so
Francisco.
it's not necessarily because these people are jobless or incomeless.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like this for the system for some reason put them in a corner where they gotta sleep outside.
exactly. Apparently, in San Francisco, if you make less than $110,000, it's already
Mm.
hard to live.
Mm.
It's amazing. I don't get it. These people are paying between $3,000 to $6,000 just for a regular room. You know, apparently, I could be wrong. But also, I'm hearing other things that I saw online on YouTube that they're just paying $2,000. But these are like in bad neighborhoods. You know what I mean?
Mm.
So, I mean, San Francisco has always been a pretty expensive place. But
Mm.
uh, anyway, um, going back to you. So, how are you? How are you? I don't under. I can't. I have a hard time trying to figure out how you're gonna live day to day if you're like doing client to client. Are you paying rent where you live? Uh, how
Oh,
how are
we're
you
going.
doing this?
Are we going down that route now?
I guess I guess we can
No,
we can
man.
put it for another place.
No. Long story short, I moved back in with my dad.
Okay.
So yeah, he- yeah he's we're all right. We've got a little like billboard business going on here in the house. So there's a little bit of income coming in through that.
Right.
It's like literally passive income for him. So I'm just leeching off my dad right now, basically.
Right. Right.
In
No
terms
shame in that.
of in terms of yeah, and he's happy because he's got like a little senior citizen home going on for him here.
That's awesome.
So I consider my being his son like a little job,
Yeah.
where he doesn't pay me, but we're around. We're keeping him company. We're not
Right.
throwing him into a
A
what do you
home.
call that?
See,
A
a
home,
facility. Yeah.
a
Facility.
facility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we're taking care of him,
That's good.
keeping him company.
We.
Yeah, there's a couple of other people working around the clock helping him out.
Got it.
Yeah.
Got it. Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought for some reason I was like thinking that you were
But
still doing.
out of that whole crew of people helping him out, I'm like the least. I'm just here as the son. I'm not even like I don't. I hardly even lift a finger. I
Right.
barely even wash the dishes. So I
I
can't
see.
complain.
Yeah, that's
Can't
good. Yeah,
complain.
but it's like it's easier for. Well, you're not married. You don't. Your son lives with your wife. I'm assuming, right?
Yeah. Well, the mother of my son. Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm not married, then she's not the wife, right?
Yeah, that's true. Uh, yeah, it feels like no. Let me take it back. I thought for some reason you were working at some kind of studio still.
No. No. I did a little bit of that gig. I did. It's funny. I was telling a friend the other day. I started off like when I started. I did a few commercials, TV shows, like here
Yeah.
in the Philippines for a bit, right? Like for some strange reason, I never really worked my way up.
Yeah.
I started off from the top, and then I kind of worked my way down. It's funny.
Backwards.
One of my first commercials, I was like right off the bat, I was like the lead role in the commercial, right?
Right.
And then by my 10th, 15th, 20th commercial, maybe I was already like at the back of the. I was like really blurry, like you could barely even see my face on the screen anymore.
Right.
And then, but interestingly, while that was happening, I was also interested in, as I've always been sort of interested being literally behind the camera. So I was doing gigs like that also.
Oh, that's cool.
But yeah, to get down to your point about living the paycheck to paycheck, I tried to do the whole call center thing also here in the Philippines for a bit.
Hmm. Hmm.
Also because I needed to pay some debt. I was getting really deep into like scuba diving back then,
Yeah.
and so I wanted to pay pay it off, and it happened. But it was one of those experiences what that I just wanted to go through. So I know that it wasn't for me,
Right.
but it's hard to talk shit about something that you don't know anything
Anything
about,
about.
right? Like
Right.
there's a little
Right.
bit of insecurity. So yeah, so I did that gig for a couple of years. I even became a trainer for a bit. Uh,
Yeah, I saw you
for
posted some of that stuff.
for one of those, yeah, for one of those facilities, which was also interesting because we were selling like like packages for videos,
Yeah.
packages for like audio streaming and that kind of thing also. So
Yeah.
it was also a marketing training kind of gig. But that was a couple of years ago. But yeah, for one reason or another, like maybe your homeless documentary that you watched,
Mm.
you just make like one sort of choice or non-choice for that matter, and it just sort of spirals into popping out a baby and being a deadbeat dad.
Oh,
next
come on,
next thing
dude.
you know,
I mean,
next thing you know.
it. I live paycheck to paycheck too. The only difference is there's it's still in dollars, yes, but I'm also
Yeah,
spending in dollars. My wife and
yeah.
I both work full-time jobs, but we are considered where we live.
Mm,
So this is the median, for example.
mm, mm,
We're like almost borderline below it, almost.
mm. But
Because
you know what they say, I'd rather be homeless in the US than homeless here in the Philippines, right?
I don't know about that, dude.
Wait,
Homeless here
oh,
sucks.
oh yeah.
Hom- Homeless anywhere sucks. If you're homeless, you're homeless. What can you do?
For
I
sure.
wouldn't want to. I had to. Do you remember the BART
Yeah,
Metro in San Francisco?
yeah, yeah.
I had to start taking that at 6 p.m. until all the way closes at like 11 something, back and forth, same area. And I got to go to the very back train, and I would sleep and hide underneath those benches until the guy does his inspections and leaves. And then I can just sleep properly however I want it and whatnot. I did that for 9 days, a week and 2 days. I was homeless, and it sucked. I had
Mm,
to. I had to. I was working, so that one actually happened after I got out of rehab. I was broke already.
oh, you really did walk yourself into rehab.
Yeah, I really did.
Wow.
I
Like
literally.
a facility, or was it
Yeah.
just Google searching?
No, no, no. It's a facility.
Oh wow.
It's it was in the desert near
Oh
Las
wow.
Vegas. Um,
So privileged. I'm in the presence of a drug rehab survivor.
I took every penny I had. I paid for everything in cash. I walked.
Mm.
I mean, I didn't walk back. I went back to my place in San Francisco. My apartment was locked. I couldn't pay anything else that I had to get my stuff. So I
Oh.
had and I had to figure out where to stay. And
So
if I stayed with old friends, those old friends were like doing drugs, drinking a lot. I didn't want
oh
to. I didn't shun them, but
right.
I went to their places here and there to like take a shower or eat.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I just stayed at a metro station, and then I had to find a job. I found a job
Hold on.
within that whole week.
That's interesting though. That well, it kind of sucks that it was only a like 1 week. I mean, yeah, you're. I don't know if that makes you a certified homeless person if you're just out for a week. I think you got to be doing it for at least a year. Street credit, you know? No,
Yeah. If you
but
have for the
I
first
can't.
48 hours or so, if you're shivering and trying to find a warm place to sleep, I think
Yeah.
you're considered homeless, man.
Sorry, I'm just trying to make light of the story, but I'm curious. What was your mindset getting into it? I mean, of course, it was. I guess it was a choice that you wanted to sleep out on the street, and at the same time, what was your mindset getting out?
Well, nobody
And
offered to.
sorry, going back to the rehab place. I mean, how come you had the presence of mind to walk into a place to a facility versus because normally you'd hear like it was forced on you, or kind of there's some kind of intervention, or my life was
Yeah, no.
really screwed up.
After I almost OD'd, I almost overdosed. I just
All
had to,
right.
yeah, I just had to like make a choice. I didn't want to die, you know.
So the OD was that incident was enough to wake you up, huh?
Yeah, I mean, because that was the only time I did it, you know, and then
Yeah.
it got to that point, so I had to make a choice.
Have you ever
Um,
told your kids about it?
yeah, everybody, my wife knows everything. My wife and I are full transparency. She also knows most of my stories and all that stuff. And then I w- I had no friends when I went back that offered for me to stay on their couch or anything. Maybe
Mm.
some, but I knew if I stayed there, I'd slip probably. I didn't
Mm.
have that much confidence in myself yet, or control. So, but I eventually found a job, saved up some money, and then called my dad. I'm like, hey, my dad was living here in Maryland at that time.
Mm.
So I was like, hey, maybe I can like move over to that area, start up fresh and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So eventually I did, and it was an eye opener, you know. And then when I got
Mm.
here to the East Coast, I started kind of slipping at the lifestyle of like going out all the time again. You know, I didn't do the drugs again. Never did. You know.
Mm.
Now I have the control. I can be around people who are smoking pot all the time. I've actually
Mm.
smoking pot, or
Mm.
and it's nothing now. I have the control for it. Well, back then after rehab, that's when I started smoking cigarettes. I smoked for like 20 years as like a replacement for smoking pot all the time, doing
Right.
drugs and all
Like
that stuff.
cigarettes, like regular
Cigarettes.
cigarettes. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I actually quit smoking 5 years ago or 3 years ago. That's when I started doing the vape, vaping.
Yeah.
And then I gradually got away from that. What? I haven't touched a cigarette in 5 years, really. I haven't touched vaping in over a year now. So it's been recovery.
You know that background that you have at the background at the back, obviously, that you have right now. That reminds me of Boracay. It might be Boracay, right? I'm sure you've heard of Boracay.
Yeah, I've been there once.
That's where my cigarette story starts.
Oh yeah,
Um, yeah, I was in one of those trips where find yourself or something like that.
yeah,
21. I was doing the radio DJ slash rave party kind of gig.
yeah.
And then I was like, how could I be a DJ and not be smoking? So I tried out the smoking thing. When I got back to when I got back to Baguio from Boracay, I tried to keep up the image, right?
Right.
And I actually enjoyed the whole, buying the cigarettes, flipping it with a lighter, lighting it with a lighter and everything. But I would forget that I'd have like cigarettes in my jacket, and then so I never really got addicted to it. But one day my mom, I wanted to tell you this story about my mom finding the cigarettes in my jacket, right?
Oh
And she's
shit.
like, "Noel, are you smoking?" I was like, that skirting around it answer. And she
I'm
says,
holding it for my friend.
right, yeah, or I forgot that it's in my jacket, that kind of thing. And then my mom says, "Can I have one?"
What?
my mom asked me for cigarettes because she saw it inside my jacket, and it's been stale already. It's been there for like a month. So anyway, that's just where my cigarette
Your
story
mom
ends.
smokes?
Every now and then, yeah, yeah. I think until now, maybe once a month,
My
kind of
mom still
thing.
smokes too. My mom
Or
still
she
lives in the Philippines.
or she hides it. Oh, she does. Your
Yeah.
mom. Where in the Philippines do
In
your relatives stay?
well, they Quezon City
Oh,
near
okay.
SM Mega Mall.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's about an hour away from where I'm at.
Oh, Project 8.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm familiar with Project 6. So
Yeah, it's
that's
literally 2 blocks. That it's not that far. Yeah.
Close
They
enough.
live right
Yeah.
there. That's funny.
Okay.
You're not that far from them. It's only about an
Yeah.
hour.
About yeah. I don't know if you're familiar with kilometers, but that's about 20, 25 kilometers from here. About an hour,
How
45 minutes
many
an
miles
hour.
is that? Like
Yeah, I have
15,
to
like
calculate it.
10 miles
Thereabouts. Yeah.
or
So
15.
about an hour.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so anyway, just point being was that I never got into it. I got into it whenever I'd be like in gigs or I'd be like, doing whatever, but it
Yeah.
was never I was never really like a substance abuser kind of thing. I'm more of a like I was joking about a while ago. I'm more of a social media abuser than a substance abuser.
Yeah.
What
You were
about
saying.
now? What are you what's your latest addiction now? Do you have any addictions now?
No, I don't. I mean, I don't smoke anymore. I rarely drink. Um, I used to. I mean, once in a while, I'll have like a glass of whiskey. If I'm gonna drink, I
Hmm.
don't really drink beer anymore. I prefer whiskey or scotch, whatever, straight up. And I don't know. I don't really even drink that much anymore. But before, I used to drink a lot. Almost every day. Until about maybe 5 years ago.
Anything. Like lately I've been like into like Korean telenovelas.
Oh my God. Oh yeah, we talked about that. Too hot to handle.
Yeah,
Was it
yeah.
no, not too
Oh
hot.
no,
Is it too
that's not
hot?
even the telenovela. No, right now, like, okay, literally, I opened my browser a while ago and even remember the name of this show. It's a Japanese show called. Wait, how do I find out what the title is? Anyway, she's some girl learning like cooking for there the makanai cooking for something. What is it
That's too.
called? Cooking for the Maiko House.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
that's it.
Anyway,
So it's one of those things where I say, "Ah, I got it controlled. I got it controlled if I need to do something, like if we're going to wake up for a podcast or if I need to go out for a shoot or I have a
right.
client waiting for me,
Yeah.
I can snap out of it. But it's when you're not doing anything and you're not busy with anything
It just
and
doesn't
you
work out.
and you're not hungry and you're not I'm probably making up for all that time that I wasn't watching TV when I was in high school.
Right.
When I was in high school, I would hardly watch any TV,
Oh really?
like zero.
What were you doing?
I was more of a radio guy, maybe. I'd listen to the radio or read a lot. I
Oh.
was I wouldn't say nerd, but I wasn't really interested in TV back in the days.
What are you
And
talking about
then
here or back there?
both,
Yeah.
both, both. Even before I moved to the States, I
Mm.
was already not like really a TV guy. Although there were shows that I watched that I
Right.
liked.
Right. Right.
But yeah, even now it's like, oh God, The Wonder Years. That was like I was addicted to that one. Like every
Yeah.
Wednesday,
Yeah.
9 p.m. on Channel 9 or
And
something like that.
CBS. I remember
Yeah,
that Wonder Years. I love that show. That's a good show, though.
there. So I kind
The
of got
you
in.
know there's a revival of that now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, but it's not the same cast. They kind of
well,
like switched it around. You know what I
for
mean?
sure.
Um,
But you say revival like same idea or
it's the exact same thing, really. It's about um how Kevin was basically
yeah, yeah, yeah,
narration and whatnot. It's almost the same, but
yeah.
no, it's not the same. Tried watching a couple episodes and nah. But
Mm.
Wonder Years still holds up. I mean, I had the biggest crush on Winnie.
It's me. What did I like about that show? I think it was, like I didn't realize that you could actually talk to yourself. I think that's what I liked about the show. The fact
And
that
in hindsight, that's pretty much what the whole show was
yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, for me, it was such a different take on TV. It was so new to me that you can actually talk to yourself.
Right,
Because
right.
before that, I jumped from like, I don't know, Batibot or Sesame Street. That the
Batibot.
people are always
That's
talking to
that
each other.
turtle.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I
Kuya
remember.
Boji. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Right. But these are always characters talking to each other. But when with the Wonder Years, the one that sort of opened my eyes to the world
Right.
was the fact that the main character was actually talking to the audience.
Right.
Like for me, it was so
And I guess we're
such a
back for
strange.
another episode.
I mean, the
Uh,
only reason why we're back on Zoom, sorry to interrupt your introduction,
you're fine.
but the only reason why we're back on here with the 40-minute cap is because we couldn't figure out all the other apps to work. So here we are.
Ideally, it'd be nice if we could just do it straight, but we're too stupid and too old to figure it out.
It's funny though; it just keeps changing every time we get back on.
What do you mean?
Look, it's like it would be working the day before or like a while ago, and then we get back on, stop recording, and you get back on. It's like, did I change a setting somewhere, or did I click on another button?
I
So
think
something's
the
not
very
sorted out
first
somewhere.
the very first recording we did, we didn't have OBS installed.
Right.
That was the we only had Zoom, and everything worked out then. To be honest with you, meaning
Yeah,
sound,
it was okay.
we had no
Yeah.
issue with the sound. I had no issue with the echoes or the mic or whatever.
Right.
So I don't know. Well, what are you doing? That's better. You're doing
Cool.
something that's making it better.
I didn't touch anything.
Ah,
You mean sound wise?
yeah.
Nothing.
Oh,
I
okay.
didn't
Well,
touch anything. Oh,
it's
maybe no. I think the previous video just finished processing,
okay.
so maybe it was eating up bandwidth or something like that
My God.
from the computer or whatever.
Yeah.
And when I clicked on save the file,
Yeah.
the window disappeared, and then all of a sudden you said it sounded much better. So it must
Okay.
have been the bandwidth of the computer.
Yeah, that's probably it. Because it sounds a little bit better now.
Right.
All right.
So yeah.
So we're back for another episode. Like I said, we apologize. We'll get to it one way or the other. Yeah. Anyway, you were saying?
Hopefully these are the first 10 or 20 episodes that nobody's going to listen to
Probably. Yeah.
or nobody's going to bother about.
So are we sticking to Jason and Noel, the podcast?
We can always change it anytime.
Yeah. So for now, let's put it like that so that we can
Yeah. Maybe it's probably going to get stuck and can't change anything once we get 1 million subscribers. But we don't even have one right now. We don't even need to have a name. We got to figure out our freaking technical issues first before
yeah.
we can even come up with a
You're
freaking
right.
title.
You're right. You're right. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm getting all up on myself because in the recording it doesn't sound too bad when you listen to it. It's during the recording that's horrible.
Ah,
You know what I mean? But the recording itself, it sounds normal, like whatever. Like I'm
actually,
not hearing the same issues I'm hearing while I'm recording.
right. So same thing with me. I can actually hear myself on both ears this time. Because last time I was a bit bitching about just hearing
Just
it on
one
one
ear.
ear, right?
Yeah.
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 Now, same settings, same recorder that's in front of me. I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever. If it works out, it works out. We'll figure it
Yeah.
out.
Sorry. Still eating my breakfast here.
What time is it there? It's like what? Almost one?
Yeah.
Nice. Oh my
12:45.
god. It's 11:47. So late. Past my bedtime.
Right.
I think it's this OBS thing that's kind of messing me up though.
Keeping you awake at night.
Yeah, with my setup.
I think that's the thing. When I opened it up and we started doing a recording the other day,
Yeah.
I'm doing like a little self reflection here. It's like when I realize that something's going to be uncomfortable, I just like, I'll do it later.
You
So,
procrastinate on it.
yeah, no, because I know that once I get into it and I get sucked into it, like OBS and, trying to figure out the audio issues and everything,
It's hard to stop.
it's hard to
It's
stop.
really
So I was
hard.
like, oh, I'll figure it out tomorrow. So worked on it. I was going to work on it yesterday, but I had some chores to do
Right.
and I just ended up not doing it until this morning,
Uh,
like 5 minutes before we were going to start.
yeah, I know that. that you were still passed out. So
Yeah.
it's
So
it's
there you go. I think just like moving forward though, I think as long as we sort of look past the technical issues, whether as long as we're recording, bottom line,
yeah, that's the
as long as
important
we're
thing.
recording, as long as we're like getting into to the habit of doing it, because
Yeah,
that's the thing that I'm kind of worried about is that we get started, even if all the technical issues are perfect,
yeah,
but we're not in the mood, schedule doesn't meet up, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
the actual recording itself is better than getting the technical issues figured out. That's the way
Right.
I'm looking at it.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. You're right. And
Like
it's
just
fine.
to get the just to get the dirty ones out of the way, get the cobwebs out of the way, get
Yeah.
just get the wheels turning, so to speak. I mean, stuck in traffic, as long as the wheels are turning, I'm good. But if I'm stuck in traffic and we're not moving for like, you know, more than 2 minutes, I get really antsy.
Yeah. No.
That's why I'm happy to be on the motorcycle, man. My friend is asking me to take her kid to like fencing practice or something like that. And she's like, "Oh, I'll lend you my car, blah blah blah." It's like, "Yeah, but I don't want to drive your car. I want to be on the motorcycle."
It
So
doesn't it
we're
scare you though? I mean, motorcycle in the Philippines just sounds really dangerous.
not because of the speed, but because of the people that could just rob you
Uh,
at any second, right? But yeah, it's dangerous. I mean, for me, the way I look at it, the only thing that's dangerous for me is always the speed.
yeah.
I mean, that's what like I don't know what the statistics are, but maybe 90% of the people that get injured in motorcycles
Die.
because they're going too freaking fast.
Yeah. Yeah. Is it a
Uh, you know, s-
motorcycle or like
Speed is always a factor. No, man, it's a
50
scooter.
cc
No,
scooter?
no, no. 125 to be
Nice.
exact.
Nice. So it's one of
Y-
those medium-sized scooters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um,
It's
but
that.
like I said, it's the mobility, being able to move around, and God forbid parking, like here in the
Yeah.
Philippines. Um, yeah, everywhere. I mean, parking is not so bad if you're in the car,
Yeah.
but once I got on the motorcycle or the scooter, I was like, damn, what I was missing out on. It's like five
What do you
like
What do you mean?
like what feels like 5 minutes looking for parking is actually like 20, 30 minutes.
Jesus.
But when you're on the motorcycle, you're like, right there.
Yeah.
And the
That's
best part is if you're parked in the wrong spot, somebody else can just pick up the motorcycle and move it for you.
no way. They actually
Not that
do that?
not that people do it all the time, but it can happen.
Right.
Like
Right.
people like, just don't lock it. They'll tell you, like the guards would tell you, just don't lock it. We'll move it for you when somebody comes in.
That's
So
scary. What if they
yeah.
steal it? I mean, they can steal that damn thing.
Right. Yeah, but the guard is there, and they're the ones that are telling you. It's like valet parking, right?
Right. Right. That's true.
But bottom line is, it's just the mobility. Of course, there's a lot of negative things of not being able to carry all your shit like you do on your Jeep.
Yeah.
But it's just being able to get from point A to point B is just one thing. So that's what I was telling my godson. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Inaanak,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
I'm the Nino.
Gotcha.
Anyway, I was like, as long as we can get his ass from point A to point B, we'll figure out how to bring his sword to the practice venue like later. I'll just come back and pick it up.
Right. 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 Right.
Because like yeah, it's just the parking and the being able to get around is really, sorry, I ended up going on that rant, but
How's gas over there? What's the price?
yeah, it's pretty steep. Like the way when I was driving before, it was like it could reach like, gosh, I gotta take the calculator out so that you could appreciate what I'm
I
talking
got it.
about.
I got it. I got it now.
So, on average, it might be like 2,000 pesos for uh, full tank of gas.
In a car,
May Yeah, maybe, yeah,
2,000 pesos under $56. That's
right.
$35.
Yeah, we're talking about a full tank of gas, right? And I'm like a big like Isuzu truck that I was driving back then, or
That's
even a
it.
regular,
Two
even
thousand
a
dollars? Pesos?
pesos, because that was diesel.
But that's cheap. It's
Right,
$35.
right. But you haven't asked me about the scooter yet.
Oh, on the scooter?
250 pesos for like 2 weeks. Let's
Yeah.
say 300 pesos. That's like, yeah, exactly.
$6, more or
Yeah,
less.
exactly. Exactly.
Wow. Holy shit. Well, that must be
Exactly.
nice, man. Um, my car costs about $58.
How much did I
58
say a while ago?
$2,000. I mean
Pesos.
2,000 pesos. That's about
How much did
$35.
35? Yeah, okay.
So let's
Yeah.
just say for mine, it's
Yeah.
3,250 pesos a week.
Right.
Wow. And then yours is only $3. Your
Yeah.
motorcycle.
Yeah.
Man, I wish I
Exactly.
could do that though. I'm too scared to drive a motorcycle. Yeah?
I never thought I would. I never thought I would. I grew up riding bicycles, mountain bikes, doing that rough kind of thing, right?
Yeah.
Never thought I would get into it, but there was a time that I had a quick vacation in Bohol,
Mm.
an island here in the Philippines. I don't know if you're familiar with that,
Yeah.
but it's like the opposite of Boracay. It's a couple of hours from Cebu. Anyway, I ended up going there for a dive project. And then I thought I could take the cab or a jeepney, but there's no jeepneys or cabs there. Like everything is tricycle or you rent a motorcycle.
Oh, really?
And it's like maybe 500 pesos per day.
To rent a
So maybe
motorcycle.
that's like $10 to rent the motorcycle. Yeah.
That's pretty cheap still.
Yeah, exactly. That was the only way to go around. And I was like, shit, this is not bad.
Right.
So that's kind of where I got the idea of what I wonder if I could do this in Manila. Never thought I would, but it was what was available. My girlfriend had a motorcycle, and we were like, let's just,
That's the scary part too, driving a motorcycle in Manila. Man, I can't even
yeah,
imagine. I mean,
yeah,
I've never
yeah,
driven anything in Manila. That's why.
yeah. Well,
Uh,
necessity, man. So
yeah.
I wanted to be able to visit my son, and it was the only way to do it. I didn't want to be renting a car all the time or be commuting, COVID days also. So
Yeah. Plus,
it was
if
really
it
just the
takes you
only,
if it takes you 2 hours or almost 2 hours by motorcycle,
yeah,
you could probably double that by commuting.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Probably take
thereabouts.
as long as one time. Yeah.
Right.
Where does he
Yeah.
live?
San Mateo, that's 40 kilometers away. I don't know how much that is in miles, but like I said, like a couple of hours, hour and a half to get there on a
Yeah.
good day.
On a good day. It's
On
about
a bad day, it could take me like 3 hours to get there with traffic and everything.
wow.
So he's like, Dad, why do you have to leave so early? It's like, because I don't want to get home before dark. I mean, I want to get home before dark, and you're yawning already. We could we could continue this another day, man.
No, it's okay.
But you sure, huh?
Yeah. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good.
Yeah. So I
So
guess I'm sort of, I don't know if I'm justifying this with myself, but that's where it is for me, at least, even if I'm no I'm not living under a the seat of a train,
yeah.
but in a sense, and I'm riding a motorcycle to see my son and not the car, like whatever, right? Like you do
It's
whatever you got to do to
transportation.
get
You
by.
gotta do what you gotta do. Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I would do the exact same thing to be able to see my kids.
Yeah.
You know, and it's never easy. I mean, here I don't. If it wasn't a necessity, I probably wouldn't be
Yeah.
driving. You
Did you
know.
ever have any? I don't know if you want to get into that now. Are you open to talk about like your situation with your kids?
Yeah. Yeah. I'm absolutely fine. You know, it wa-
Uh,
it was it was rough at first. Well, when I met my
um,
when I met my wife, I didn't know she had kids at first. You know, until she
oh,
told
okay.
me a couple of days. She didn't hold it against me. You know, or
Right,
hold it
right.
from me, but she
No
told me
worries.
eventually a couple of days later.
So
Um,
sorry, but did you ever have any experience on like uh? s- Oh no, because you have that your biological. You
my
never.
youngest is my biological.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, I was trying to get around the idea of not being able to see them,
No, I
and
never
yeah,
had
that
that.
kind of.
It's hard to relate
Yeah,
personally,
yeah, yeah.
but I kind of can relate from your son's point of view, because that's how it was with my mom and my dad in the Philippines. You know, my mom,
Right.
but instead of my mom coming to see us, I had to go to her. I lived near Cubao,
Mm.
in in front of Camp Crame. I don't know if you're familiar,
Yeah. Yeah.
by Green Hills.
Yes.
And then she lived in Project 8. And then
Okay.
as a 10-year-old, I'd hop the bus, the tricycle, the jeep
Oh wow.
once every 2 weeks to go see her. You know what I
Oh
mean?
wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She came to see us once in a while, at my
Okay.
dad's, but that was a rarity. It was most of the time us going to her to visit her, you know.
Yeah.
So in a way, I can relate to how it is with your son. So I know how that is.
Yeah.
It can't be easy. You know how did you guys? I don't know if you want to get into it now, but how did you end up in that position? I thought at one point you were married, actually.
No, no, no. We were never married. Um. Yeah. Let me put a quick pause on that. Yeah, I was wondering a while ago while we were riding the motorcycle to go to the Talipapa, thinking like, how much should we be talking about like me? Like that's kind of what I drove off when we cut off a while ago. I was thinking like, am I talking about myself too much? Blah blah blah. Kind of got self conscious about it. But I was thinking, it's better to on the flip side of it. I don't want it to be all about me, right? But
Right.
on the flip side, since these are like one of the initial, you know,
Podcast
uh,
shows.
episodes that we could just like brush under the rug,
Right.
it would be good to just get it all out of the way.
Yeah.
And then so we can move on to bigger and better and brighter things. So, in other words, like just get all the personal stuff out of the way,
Yeah.
and then start like moving forward. I mean, I guess that's the positive side of it.
Yeah. Plus, it's a good way for potential whoever to try to relate.
Maybe, maybe,
Yeah.
yeah. But on the flip side, going back to that topic, I'm also careful. You have to stop me sometimes if I'm careful to talk about it, not because it's bad, it doesn't look good on me, but of course I don't want to talk shit about the other person.
Right.
So that's the only thing that stops me
Okay.
actually. It's not
Like
really about my
something that might potentially incriminate the other.
no, not the other, but incriminate me talking about the other.
Okay. I
Like
got it.
she can end up suing me for saying some shit that's not true, or
Right. Right.
libel or whatever like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know, that's the only thing. So it's like, how do you talk about a traumatic experience, or how do you talk about a personal experience without like damaging the other person, right? That's the
Right.
one that's a
That's
little
that's
that's a
rough.
little tricky.
Yeah.
But I guess, and feel free to ask more questions if you want to. But I think at the end of the day, it was just we were gosh, where do I start? I moved to Cebu for a while to
Right.
do like a science project, and then we ended up having like a long distance relationship. So we didn't really like know each other, like live together,
Yeah.
but we ended up, you know, uh, you know, getting pregnant, and then I ended up living with her. Oh no,
Okay.
wait. But hold on, sorry. Before that even happened, we already broke up because it was already like a little shaky, infidelity on my part, that kind of thing. Because it was a long distance relationship.
Got it.
So we broke up, ended up living together because of our son, and then that's where you really start to get to know each other, I guess. And
Right.
so, long story short, I guess it just didn't work out,
Hmm.
to the point that we never even got around to getting married. I mean, it wasn't really even on the table. I mean, it was on the table because that's what Filipinos do when they get pregnant, you
Right.
know. But I guess for us, we kind of had the presence of mind to,
You
like,
just
wait,
walk
hold
away.
on,
Right.
hold on a second. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
How old are you
Um,
again?
44. I'm a couple of years younger than you.
Yeah.
Does that answer your question? How did I get myself into that?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it became a matter, and then there's that whole dramatic story about like leaving, running to the
Hold on.
U.S.,
Yeah. Yeah.
hiding, and
Yeah. Don't go too far now. Just be careful.
Right. No, no, no. That was the whole thing where I was just answering the question about how we ended up in this situation now where I had to make a choice. It's like, am I going to stay here and, have this sort of, I guess the word is toxic environment for my son,
Right.
or do I just leave and visit? And, after you try for several years of one thing and you realize that it's really not working, then I figured, I better change it up here a little bit.
Yeah. It
So
can be
it
easy.
was it
Can
was
be.
either that or the other.
Right. I mean,
You know,
I can't even imagine having to go through what you're going through in regards to that. I've
and
only had my daughter for 2 years, and I can't even fathom the idea of not being around
I could barely hear you, man. You sound like you got far from the mic.
her. Oh, sorry about that. Is that better?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
But
You
yeah,
were saying.
basically that's it. It sounds like a 30-second story maybe, or I don't know how long it took me to say that story, but it was years and years of trying to figure it out or trying to decide.
Right.
That's for me, that was like the most stressful part about the situation.
Hmm.
It's not really about, the other person, or she did this to me or I did that to her. This fault.
Right.
It's not really that. It's really like, okay, so what now? It's that next step that just
Can
eats me.
can can I ask? Are
Yeah.
you and her cordial?
Uh yeah, hardly.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean now, like, if we have to, we have to. Like, okay, I'll be there at 9.
Right.
But it's not like, how have you been? Or
So it's not a friendly uh relationship.
no, no, no,
Yeah. Yeah.
no. It got to the point where it was really, I couldn't even stand like being in the same vicinity.
Yeah.
Um, you know, it was,
Sorry.
yeah.
I mean, I didn't mean to pry or anything.
No, no, no. I'm happy to talk about it. It's, therapeutic for me.
Yeah.
But like I said, I just need to sort of be careful in a sense that I don't want to,
No,
talk
I understand. I
negative about
understand.
the other person. But yeah, from my end, it was just, it came to such a point where it was just really uncomfortable.
Right. Right.
But if your question is if we're cordial, yeah, like, most of the time,
Right.
most of the time, and through the years that I'm sort of more aware of it, quote unquote, more aware of the situation that we're in, or that I'm in.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more manageable, but yeah, it was really just the what do you do next.
How
That's
long has it been since the situation got to this where you're not together?
a long time. Like, I'd round it off to 10 years.
No, no, no. I mean, like, since you guys
Oh,
separated?
since I left, about 3 years now.
3 years.
Yeah.
You think you've actually moved past it and like restarted or no?
What do you mean restart?
Uh, you've been so accustomed living to that life, and then considering what the situation is, all of a sudden breaking off, and then you got to figure yourself out again
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
try to pick yourself up.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think you've done that yet or no?
Redoing it over and over again.
What do you mean?
Um, how
I
do I
got it.
put that? It's like when I left, I had a good job,
Yeah.
and then it's like I ended up not continuing with that work, and then now it's like, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't know if you call it restart or, picking yourself back up again.
Yeah.
Um,
It's still like
yeah.
you're still going down the curvy path and haven't found the right direction to where you need to go yet.
I would put it
Am I right or
as,
no?
no, I would put it as, it's like, I don't know if this is a good example, but it's kind of like, kind of like I got out of, like a prison or a house, or I was able to escape or something like that, right? Or let's say, or maybe a party that you didn't want to be in. So you
Right.
got out of the party. I want to go home, but now it's like, how do I get home? So I
Right.
know where I want to go, but I just don't know how to get there.
Right.
Maybe
Right.
that's the way. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
So
Uh,
yes, it's a start, but
you're
I,
still
I I don't
trying
know
to find direction.
I don't know where the finish line is. Yeah.
Like you're on the train station and you're trying to figure out which train to take. Does that make
Yeah.
sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
And it seems
But
like you'll get on one train, head a certain direction, but all of a
yeah.
sudden you're back at the station.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Or another way to do it with the train station analogy is, for me at least, I feel good about being at the train station, although I
Right.
haven't decided which where to go yet. But because before, the one that was really like, killing me alive was like, do I take the cab? Do I take the train? Do I walk?
Right.
There's so many different options. But now it's like, I'm happy that I took the train, that I am going to be taking the train. So the next
Mhm.
decision. So I'm not that next decision.
Right.
So yes, it's a start. So yes, we're at the starting line again, but it's not like the complete zero start where you're not even in the race.
At the risk of trying to make this sound like a therapy session, have you had complete closure regarding to that situation?
Mm,
That's yes or no?
yeah,
That
yeah,
doesn't
I think so.
sound too convincing.
I think when you say closure, like in my head, it means like have I accepted the situation?
Correct. Not
Yeah,
just the good parts, but
yeah, yeah, yeah.
especially the bad parts. And being able to take responsibility for everything that you need to take responsibility for.
Oh, for sure,
You know what I mean?
for sure, yeah, for sure. Because when you use the word closure, and that's the reason why I kind of hesitate to answer to say yes or no, is because like traditionally when you say closure, it's something that you sat on and you kind of agreed
Right.
that okay, we're going to end this call now.
Right.
This wasn't like a
That's not how it applies to that one then.
it wasn't a mutual ending the call. It was
Yeah.
like, I'm ending the call now.
Yeah. Like your smart card loads ran out. You're out.
Yeah, and you just didn't want to get another card.
Right.
So um
It's it seems like I mean, I don't know the whole story, but I think I got the gist
no,
of
it went down like this. Okay, my smart card is coming down to like the last 10 seconds. And then I was like, if you don't continue saying that, or if you don't continue, if you stop, like for example, if you don't take your cap off, Jason,
yeah,
I'm not going to renew my card.
got it.
So I was like, so I didn't renew my card
Right.
because the other person didn't take off his cap.
Yeah. Got
So
it. Got
that's,
it. Got it. Got it. Got it. That makes okay. All right. Got it. Well,
but
you got to
but
take the every little stride, every little step that you need to take to get yourself in the right train to go to the right direction.
I'm gonna
First
have to
step
listen.
to first step to solving a problem is recognizing that there's a problem.
Right. That was like the backstory of that whole rant that I went down on, was
Yeah.
that didn't happen like in 10 seconds. That happened like over 10 years
Yeah.
of
Yeah.
saying that, take your hat off,
Right.
and the person doesn't want to take the hat off. Take your hat off. I'm not going to renew my card. And here I am renewing the fucking card all over again. And here I am complaining again about not taking your hat off.
Right. Right.
So, after so many years of doing that dance, I finally decided. And my Bohol story a while ago was part of that vacation.
Got
Like
it.
I'd leave, to give myself a breather, go to Bohol, rent a motorcycle,
Smoking a
um,
cigarette.
pretend like I'm into smoking cigarettes, kind of
Right.
thing, and
Right.
and then come back, and then I end up getting myself a smart card again all over
Right.
again, and then
Right. Right.
complaining about the whole thing, and then you realize that you know after you do it like 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 times, you're like,
You're
can't
stuck.
keep can't
You're
keep doing this
you're
all
literally a
over again.
record player, just going around in circles.
Yeah. Plus, the age of my son considering and that kind of thing. So,
Right.
but basically I didn't want to be the asshole, right?
Right. Right.
Like I wanted to do the right thing, but I also didn't want to I also didn't want to be neglectful, if that's the right word.
Yeah. Yeah. Neglectful. Well, the good thing is it's you're definitely trying to take the right step. I mean, like you said,
Yeah.
now you said earlier that now you're seeing your son now more often.
Yeah, 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 for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
It was funny though because during the darkest times there would be like 2, 3, 4 months I didn't realize that I haven't seen him because I was like in this dark, and plus I had work, I was really busy, blah blah blah.
Right.
But and then you didn't realize so much time has passed already that you know is he, is he still going to recognize me, or am I going to still recognize him?
Right.
So
It's never too late.
what's up?
It's never too late.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, yeah. So
But
yeah,
thank you for sharing and opening it. It can't be easy.
yeah,
It's never
yeah,
easy to talk about something like that, especially if it's still
yeah.
quite fresh.
Or well, it's funny because I'm I don't know if you've known me, but if you knew me long enough, you'd see I'm a pretty open book kind of guy. But like I said, like the only thing that's difficult now is that there are other people involved.
Right.
If I'm just talking shit about myself, that's
Yeah.
that's me.
Yeah.
That's Noel. But if other people are involved, that's where it gets scary. That's the one that I'm not used to.
Right.
Like talking about a situation that involves other people.
Well, again, I truly appreciate you opening up and talking about it. And like I said, it can't be easy. And I'm sure no matter what direction you take next, I think you're going to be more mature and open to making the right decision.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I hope so. Thank you.
Yeah. No problem, man. I'm here for you if you need anything. Anything. I'm telling you.
All right, all right.
Well, we are down to 5 minutes. I think we should end it there for now.
Yeah, I'll take you up on that. But
Yeah.
yeah, how does the episode feel for you?
This one
Yeah, burn down the
specifically,
last 5 minutes. Yeah.
actually, I think it was pretty damn good. Got to know, I got to learn a lot more about you. I'll tell you
Yeah,
that much.
yeah.
Yeah.
Been
And
skirting,
I
been skirting
saw.
around your story, but we'll get to you on the next one.
We'll get to me when you get to me. But I saw different sides of you. You know what
Oh
I mean?
yeah.
Yeah. Which kind of uh opened up my eyes a little bit in a good way.
Hmm.
It
I was just
feels
trying to.
like it
I was
feels
just
like
trying to
I
top
got
off
to know
your.
you more.
I'm just feeling competitive. I'm trying to like compare my story to your homeless for 9 days story.
Well, why would you even do that to begin with? Hey man, have you ever been homeless in San Francisco? It's fucking
No, no.
cold, dude. It's cold. Plus, if you, I don't know about you, but it is not comfortable sleeping in a cold train.
Yeah, I'm joking about it, but
I
yeah, I
know.
must have not been.
It was rough. I didn't know where to go. It's basically out of the 9 days. It's 8 days of trying to figure out what to do with my life.
4 minutes. I know.
Yeah,
Sorry. But
You're fine.
can you squeeze out? I think we're trying to get somewhere here. Like you like how it's going. I'm okay with it. With the remaining time that we have,
I'm
where
really not sure.
you remind me of I don't know if it was something that I read or my professor read it somewhere and then shared it with me, blah blah blah. So anyway, I was having this existential crisis discussion with a like a drama teacher professor that I had. Anyway, the question was why bother creating? Why bother doing podcasts? Why bother making videos? And long story short, he was saying that it helps when you sort of externalize it because you see your magnificence, you see yeah, you're sharing it with the world and you're trying to help the world and you're helping, but it's also a reflection. So I guess that's where I'm with you in a sense that I also want to create this body of work in a sense to to it's sort of a look in the mirror, maybe another way to put it at.
Yeah, that
I mean,
that's actually a good way of looking at it. It is in a way to try to help me figure out who it is I'm looking at in the mirror.
yeah, because it's different when you hear your own story, right? I mean, when you're
Uh,
telling your own story to somebody else.
it is. It is. But the problem
Yeah.
that wasn't the biggest issue. I knew what I wanted to do. One of the biggest things really is like who is the right person for me to do it with. That sounded really gay.
Well,
You know what I was trying to say. I couldn't think of anybody else to actually be doing this kind of venture with. I knew I wanted to do it with you as opposed to other friends that I have. You know what I
that's
mean?
interesting. Well,
Because I
thank you
don't
for
know.
that.
For, to me, it just seemed like we have that similar train of thought in regards to always questioning the possibility, if that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's always one of the biggest questions in my head. What if?
Yeah.